Welcome to the range. Your host, Brandon Brown, here. As you can see, we are missing one panelist, our friend Flip Cluffs, out, for Thanksgiving early. So we're going to wish him, happy Thanksgiving as all of you coming up. First and foremost, we got to introduce our panel that is here for this week. JB Brown.
Yeah.
Cleveland Spears.
10-0. 10-0.
And riding high on his high plane, the Honorable Chris Gallen. And first and foremost, me, Cleveland, and JB over the weekend, we were able to watch this good movie called The Blind Side.
I mean, I call it great. I mean, good.
Yeah, I was like, good does not describe this movie.
You want to talk about Cleveland?
Yeah, man. The story about Michael Orr. I mean, if you haven't heard about it, you gotta go see it. I mean, it's probably a movie that I could probably go see in theaters 3-4 times. I mean, it's a movie that doesn't really get old. I mean, I'm a sucker for sports movies, but that one really takes the cake of sports movies. I mean, they just did an awesome job with that one. Tim McGraw, Sandra Bullock, they made that family seem real, in which they are real. I mean, they're real in real life, but I mean, just made it seem like they were that family because that's a huge rags to riches story.
Yeah, and there are a few famous, I wouldn't say famous, but well-known college football coaches that make appearances in this movie. They do. I mean, they're trying awful hard to recruit someone. I mean, if I was like Michael Orr, I'd be soaking in it too. But yeah, this is, as far as this movie, it's up there with Remember the Titans in my opinion. I put it up there.
Yeah.
Any notable college football coaches right now you want to mention?
Oh, man, some guy named Lou Holtz. Nick Saban.
Saving the devil.
And you're wearing his colors right now.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
How about you continue on talking about this Blind Side movie? I honestly, we see Sandra Bullock in many roles, and honestly, she played the heck out of her role in this movie, and honestly, she was looking so fine too. I gotta admit.
I like her better with the dark hair, but she was still.
Yeah. She was putting that blonde on.
I watched like the HBO special on her and stuff like that on that family. And they literally are just, she said the real person that Sandra Bullock portrayed said she played her perfectly. Because that's just what she did when she picked up Michael Orr, picked him up off the street, went to his, his hood, as you say, where he lived, where he once lived. He went over there and she said she dealt with the gang members the same way that she had done, just before. So, I mean, it's really huge to see that kind of thing and watch a person portray you to the T. A lot of people don't do that. Even Josh Lucas didn't portray Don Haskins the exact way Don Haskins was. But to say that Sandra Bullock did it the exact way that she did it was
Or with Denzel as Coach Boone.
Denzel and Coach Boone.
They're almost like spitting images.
They really are. So even then, Denzel didn't play the full way Coach Boone was. But it was still a great movie. Sandra Bullock played her down to a T, is what I was told, what I saw on HBO. So it's huge. It's a huge movie, and it's great to see.
All right, and like I said, we do recommend you seeing The Blind Side. Story about Michael Orr. Please, if you get the chance to right now, go to the theater and check it out.
Yeah.
It will be worth however much you have to pay for it. We paid $8, and it was worth every penny.
Yes, sir.
All right, into Stephen F. Austin State Lumberjack football. Here we have the Lumberjacks in the playoffs since 1999. The Lumberjacks are riding high after their victory against Northwestern State, and it was a very rainy day there, and very what's that word?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool
and breezy.
Cool and breezy. May be the words for it. I'm still a little bit peeved, honestly, about not being able to bring out umbrellas into the stadium. But hey, there may be a reason why that team is 0-11. Anyway, let's not worry about that now. The Lumberjacks will be facing Eastern Washington at Homer Bryce Stadium. So JB, what's to expect?
Well, Eastern Washington, the Eagles, they come out the Big Sky Conference along with Montana, who's the top seed in the playoffs. Pretty much everyone out of the Big Sky runs the exact same offense, and SFA, they're going to be looking at spitting images of this offense because they run the exact same thing we do. The only difference is that their running back has over 1,000 yards. They've utilized the run game a lot more than we have. So the thing is for SFA to do is to not get too complacent as far as like, wait, we know exactly what you're going to run, and because you run the same thing as we do. But Eastern Washington, they do utilize their offense through more wide receiver screens more than we do with zone reads. So that's kind of like trading off the zone read for a screen pass. But that's something that SFA should be able to capitalize on.
Cleveland.
Again, I mean, they do utilize their spread offense a lot more than, a lot better than we do, of course. I mean, their quarterback has 30 touchdown passes this year, which is tremendous. Their running back has 7, so, I mean, you see how much they've been scoring this year. And they'll be pretty good, this week. It's going to be a great game. Like I said, spitting images of offenses. Maybe our defense shouldn't get too complacent because these guys can run the football better than, a little bit better than Nicholls State did. And you saw what Nicholls State did to us, a few games ago. They just took the run and just run it down our throats and just having to stop it. We have to stop that along with the pass and not allow the big play. It's a huge game this week, and I love to see what we can do against our very own offense.
Yeah, and with that said, SFA, they haven't had any problems getting to the quarterback. I mean, they lead the nation in sacks. Tim Nickey has been playing lights out. Kenneth Charles, Andre Hicks, Rainey Stearns. I mean, that's just to name a few. I mean, not to mention Sean Warren in the middle of the field. Like, we interviewed him the other day, and he has like one of those bandage strips around his nose because he's getting like bloody like every game. So that's like one of the many things that the Jacks can say. I mean, they are very physical up front.
We're going to go right into college football. And right now the Pac-10 is on the line. Come down to one game, one moment, a time in history, the Civil War. We will have Oregon, the Oregon Ducks, all the uniforms in the world versus the Oregon State Beavers. Chris, what do you think?
Oregon all the way.
Oregon?
Oregon.
Cleveland?
Oh, I think it's going to be Oregon. Oregon's played a great season this year, along with beating USC. I mean, they're just riding the high. I mean, I think Oregon takes this, not huge, but they'll keep it respectable. Let's put it that way.
JB?
Well, last year we expected it to be respectable, and Oregon dropped 79 on on Oregon State last year because Oregon State was, and everyone thought, I guess in most of America's eyes, they were supposed to be going to the Rose Bowl instead of SC, but they were unable to win in Corvallis. So this time around, I don't think they have a shot, but it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. So I'm going with Oregon.
Alrighty. The top 6 teams in the nation, the same as always, or has been for the past few weeks. Number 6, the Boise State Broncos. The number 5, Cincinnati Bearcats. Number 4, the TCU Horned Frogs. Number 3, the Texas Longhorns. The number 2 team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And y'all might want to control him. The number 1 team in the nation. The number 1 team in the nation. Like I said, who cares? The Florida Gators.
States.
Florida Gators.
Watch my
So the question is, for these 6 teams, which of these top 6 will be the first ones to lay an egg before the bowl season? Cleveland.
Oh man, that's going to be easy. That's going to be either of those teams. I see all these teams winning out, except, and it's just by default, Alabama. I think Alabama will lose in the SEC championship game, and that's just, not to brag on Florida or anything, but I think they're better than Alabama. So I'd originally put Florida in the national championship game when